Well, hello, friends. So today we are going to tackle the dreaded, maybe is a good word, dreaded topic of Google Analytics. Now, do not turn this off because I'm going to break it down for you in an easy to understand for a normal human brain way. Zero Urkel level required. Although, am I the only one who really did love Family Matters and Steve Urkel? Because I really did. Anyway, today we're going to talk about Google Analytics, why you need to use it in your business, and to make sure that your SEO strategy is working, and how. I'm going to talk to you about how I like to use it and how I help clients use it. And I'm just going to give you some really simple things to track, some tips on how to track them and why they matter. And no, we're not going to be here for 3 hours learning all about it. So be prepared to take notes. This one is going to be a good one. Hey there, fellow entrepreneur. Welcome to Simple SEO and Marketing with me, Faith Hannon. Do you want to grow your business with organic marketing and finally feel like you can understand SEO? Are you scouring the internet for how to get more website traffic, SEO for dummies, and how to market on Pinterest? Have you tried to grow your business with SEO and blogging only to get frustrated and quit because it's overwhelming and too time consuming? Been there. Hey, I'm Faith Hannon, Jesus lover, copywriter, blogger, wife, wrangler of tiny humans, and barrel racer. And let me tell you, I didn't have time to waste sorting through SEO and keyword strategies that either didn't work or were so over my head I couldn't understand them. I honestly thought that SEO and blogging only worked for people with a PhD in tech jargon and a whole team of employees, until I learned these secrets. Good SEO strategies don't have to be complicated, and creating and marketing great content doesn't have to take more than a couple hours a week total. So pop in those earbuds, slam some coffee, and let's grow your business with simple organic marketing and a healthy dose of biblical encouragement along the way. Okay, so full fact here. Full fact. Is that even a thing? I don't know. I'm making it a thing. A while back, I had a client, and one of the things that I was contracted to do for this client was to set up her Google Analytics and migrate her over to Google Analytics 4. And in the process of doing that, I was setting up some more advanced things than I typically set up or typically use. But in the process of doing that, I just reached this such a level of frustration. Because not only was I trying to set this up for her, I needed to understand how it worked, why it worked, and be able to explain this to her in a way that she would understand, right? So I'm setting these things up and I'm trying to figure out what this word means, what this word means, what this word means. And no joke, I spent a solid 2 hours reading through all kinds of stuff, watching all kinds of YouTube videos, and even going through 2 different paid courses that I had access to, trying to get a simple working definition of a few terms that Google Analytics uses that they use differently than other places. And I remember finally when I got a working definition of these terms that made sense for my brain, one, I was ready to punch a hole in the wall. BT dubs, I did not, don't worry. But it hit me that, if this is that difficult for me, it's probably really frustrating for everyone else in the whole world. And so thus kind of really began this seed for a lot of what I teach on this podcast, which is just simple SEO and marketing strategies. Now, I was using SEO strategies before that, but really that was kind of the catalyst that pushed me deeper into the SEO world in a way that tries to make sense for the normal human brain. So there y'all go. There's my life story. Just kidding. Anyway, so know that I was not born with an analytics silver spoon in my mouth, so to speak. This stuff does not just naturally make sense to my brain. I've had to take it and synthesize it into like normal human language. But really, I think that's part of the beauty of it, right? Like thinking back to school, my very best math teachers were the ones who math was not super easy for them. They had to break it down and figure out in a way that made sense to them. And then they became phenomenal teachers. So know that my heart behind this podcast, this particular episode especially, is to take this information that I've had to synthesize and break down and make it and present it to you in a way that's going to make sense for your brain and your business and your SEO strategy. Okay. So what is Google Analytics? What even is this thing that you've probably gotten 900 emails about? And you're like, what do I do? What do I do with this? Right? So Google Analytics is, in its simplest form, it's just Google's free service that allows them to track the traffic to your website and on your website, okay? And Google Analytics has evolved over the years, obviously, and has been under a few different names. The last iteration of Google Analytics that's currently on its way out is called Universal Analytics, and they are migrating everybody over to Google Analytics 4, okay? If you are not already on Google Analytics 4 and you're still on Universal Analytics, then you've probably gotten approximately 300 emails that say something like, Universal Analytics is sunsetting. If you don't migrate now, you're going to lose all of your data, blah, 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 blah. And really what they're saying is, I think the date, it's sometime in July, that Universal Analytics is going to stop processing data. And so if you're not migrated over to Google Analytics 4, then you're just not going to see the data. You're not going to be able to analyze the traffic coming to your site and what the people do on your website, okay? And as much as I hate to tell y'all, Google Analytics, love it or hate it, but you really have to have it and know how to use it. But it does not have to be all consuming. And unfortunately / fortunately, I don't know, you can look at the data, but you can't let the data be your only decision driver when it comes to your business, because in my humble opinion, I feel like humans are always going to be smarter than machines. And so you have to look at the data, you know what you're doing in your business, you know where you're going, and you just have to kind of synthesize all of that information to help you make decisions. Okay, so what do we actually do with Google Analytics? Now, first of all, hold on, pause. If you don't have Google Analytics set up, you need to do that. It's not something that's automatically set up. You have to set it up. And you just need to go to like literally Google Analytics and then follow the instructions to set it up. And you're going to have to paste some stuff on your website depending on your platform. Some are easier than others, but you need to get it set up, because if you don't have that set up, you can't track traffic that's coming to your site quite as well, and you can't really gauge what people are doing on your website. So go get Google Analytics set up, and while you're at it, get Search Console set up. We're not going to talk about Search Console today. We're going to focus primarily on Google Analytics, but you need them both set up, and it's a separate process for both of them, which is dumb, but it is what it is. All right, so now what do I do with Google Analytics? Well, here you go. First of all, if these terms are confusing to you, please go download the SEO cheat sheet in the show notes, okay? Where I break everything down. I keep that updated. I update it frequently, and it's just simply a spreadsheet that you can use. Print it out, stick it on your wall, do whatever you want with it. So what do I use Google Analytics for? What I use it for myself and for clients, is I want to see essentially how many people are coming to my website or my clients' websites, how long they're staying, what they're looking at. And I want to tell if people are coming from organic traffic or direct traffic or social media. Those are the main things that I want to know. Okay. So what I do, just give it to you straight, is I have a spreadsheet that I use. I should use for myself, but I don't fill it out very often. Shame on me. But I fill it out for my clients every month. Does that count for anything? Anyway, on this spreadsheet, what I currently track are users, new users, sessions, number of sessions per user, page views, pages per session, average session duration, bounce rate, and direct traffic. And then whatever social media platforms they are using, I will add add that onto their spreadsheet. But if they're not using Instagram, I'm not tracking Instagram, if that makes sense. And let me explain what all these terms mean and why I'm tracking them, okay? And how I'm using them. So users. I want to know how many people are coming to their website. And I want to track from month to month if the number of users is going up or down. Now, again, you cannot let this be the sole decision-making factor in your business because, hey, if you ran a big sale one month and not the next month, of course, hopefully at least, your users are going to be up in the month that you had a sale, right? As opposed to the month that you didn't have a sale. So you just have to make notes of these things in your spreadsheets. So at the end of the year, you don't cry when you have a high user month and then a low user month, right? You just need to make notes of these things. I also want to track new users because I want to see, am I getting new traffic or am I just getting repeat traffic? Okay. And then I also want to track sessions. How many times somebody opened a page or a new page on a website. Okay. I just want to see, are people clicking around? Are they just coming there for more than one thing? Are they coming back for multiple sessions? And then I also want to track number of sessions per user because I want to know, is this user coming back again and again and again? I want to track page views. Okay. I want to see, is somebody looking at more than one page when we're on our website? And then I want to track pages per session. Now, page views and pages per session can be kind of an ambiguous or a deceiving term because depending on how you're promoting your content, for one particular client, they went from promoting just their homepage and linking just their homepage in their social media posts to, hey, we're creating really great blogs now, let's link directly to that blog, or hey, we just talked about a certain product, let's link directly to that product. So sometimes the amount of time that somebody is spending, the average session duration, might go down because you're making things easier for the end user, right? If you're talking about one product, if you're talking about this awesome new shirt that you released, and instead of linking to the home page, you're linking directly to that shirt sales page, right? Yes, people are going to be on the website for a lesser amount of time, but they're going to the thing that you want them to go to. And I would always prefer to make things easier for the end user rather than just have somebody on my website for an extra 5 seconds to make my data look better, right? So page views, pages per session, and average session duration, you have to, use your brain about that data to decide if, oh yeah, we changed our strategy this month. So of course those numbers are going to fluctuate a little bit, okay? The next thing that I like to really look at is bounce rate. And that is essentially the rate that people come to your website and then leave and immediately go back to Google or whatever search platform they're using. And the reason you want your bounce rate to be low is, one, when somebody comes to your website, they stay on your website and then they go and get off the internet. It's because generally, in Google's eyes at least, they're finding the answers that they're searching for, versus if they just come straight to your website, they go to this page, they look at this page for 3 seconds and then they go back to Google. It's generally because they're not finding the answer that they're looking for. And BT Dubs have a podcast coming up about how to decrease your bounce rate, okay? But I'm always looking at my bounce rate because I want to know, hey, is this page, is this website serving the people that are coming to it, right? I want to be answering the questions that they're asking, okay? And then I'm always looking at organic traffic. Hi, I like organic marketing. But I want to know, am I getting found in searches, and am I getting traffic from those searches, okay? Direct traffic, oh my goodness, direct traffic is kind of one of those things. Direct traffic is basically Google saying, we don't really know where these people are coming from. It's an unspecified traffic source. So you just kind of have to look at your direct traffic numbers and take them with a grain of sand. Now, how do you find this data? That's the fun thing. So I'll be real with you. I much prefer the setup of universal analytics in terms of how you can find data. But Would you like to know? Would you like to know this fun little hack that I figured out way later than I should have? Because I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell myself too. So when you log into your analytics account and you're signed on to your GA4 account, not your universal account, when you're signed on to your GA4 account, which if you just click your name on your analytics account, you can click back and forth between your universal analytics account and your GA4 account. Your GA4 account will generally have, depending on how you named it, it'll have GA4 at the end. Your universal analytics account will usually have a UA at the beginning of the number, so that should be pretty easy for you to distinguish. But, fun fact, there's a search bar. And I have no idea why it took me so long to find it, but there's a search bar that you can literally just click in and you can type in the data that you're looking for. So you can type in organic traffic in whatever month you're looking for, and it will populate that data for you, instead of having to click around on the side and figure out how to do that. If you are somebody that you would rather just click around and find it, then great. Make yourself a note in your spreadsheet on what to click in what order so that you're not having to reinvent the wheel every single month. But I know Google Analytics can feel intimidating. I know it can feel overwhelming, but really it doesn't have to be. You can make it as complicated or as simple as you want, depending on how you have your sales system set up, depending on who hosts your store and where your sales are coming from. Like, you can set up all kinds of funnels and things to track, like, okay, this person clicked from this to this to this, and I made this much money. You don't have to get that fancy pants. You can stay pretty simple if you want, and just use Google Analytics as another tool in your toolbox to make smart decisions based on actual results. So I plan on doing a podcast in the near future all about Search Console and how to use that. But for now, take this, make sure that you've got your analytics set up, make sure that you are tracking your data, and don't get overwhelmed by it, right? Like, grab that SEO cheat sheet in the show notes. I break down terms in normal people language and just make yourself a spreadsheet. Track your data from month to month and just use that as part of your decision-making process to make sure that your SEO strategy is working. All right, we'll talk to you next time, and I hope you'll have a glorious rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening in today. Hopefully this episode gave you some really tangible tips for better SEO and marketing to get more leads and more sales from your website. If it did, can I ask you a quick favor? Would you please share this episode with a friend, and then just take 10 seconds and go leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. That is the very best way to help more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs scale their businesses so that they can help more people with their gifts and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom of God. And guess what? We now have a Facebook community where we can learn, hang out, and laugh. Go join the Facebook group now. It's linked in the show notes. And all the other things, courses, coaching, and copywriting, can be found at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.